Hello people and welcome to this video. Today we will be learning how to program. This video is made for beginners or even absolute beginners. So if you are someone who is new to programming or who has not started programming at all, you can start your journey with this video. I will set you up on this journey. Already there is plenty of content around programming and many of those do absolutely good job at teaching you what syntax are or teaching you a particular programming language, but the content that is missing is a content which will give you exposure to the philosophy of programming, and that is what we are going to do today. There To learn any subjects there are many different approaches that one can take, and one of the advantage with programming is you can start to learn programming by experimenting itself, because it is not that costly given that you have a computer and a power source, unlike another branches of engineering or say field like history or medicine, where the scope of experimentation is really low. So in this video the approach which we will take is of getting your hands dirty, which is you learn by implementing. And to do that there are some things which you should be familiar with, and that is what we will discuss. So the problem for absolute beginner is the problem that absolute beginners face with this approach is they don't know how to think around programming. Even though right now we have chatbots which are really good tool, but they are also bad. If you don't know anything about programming, or if you don't know basics, then chatbots can easily mislead you or take you down funnels. So uh, so a beginner might face challenge with programming with chatbot. So therefore to this so therefore for this video I have came unprepared. I will be taking help of chatbots in refining what I want to say and what I want to teach also while programming too, so that you get exposure to how I use it and how you can also utilize a good potential of chatbot. If you will outsource thinking to chatbot, then it will be a disaster. But if you will use chatbots as information scraping tool, then they are really good tool to begin with. So now without wasting any time, let's get into the crux of the matter, which is programming. So to start thinking about programming, you have to understand what a computer is. So what is a computer? It is not like you are not familiar with computer. There is some idea that you have about a computer, so you might know that computer is a device. What kind of device? Then it's what its name suggests is it is a computation device. So what does it mean to be a computation device? Then it is a device which does computation. And if you ask yourself what does it means to compute, then it means calculation. So with intuition you can think of computer as a device which is capable of doing computations. Is this understanding of computer enough for you to start programming? No. We have to refine this. We have to refine our understanding even further to get to the mindset of programming. So, what is it missing? Um, One another critical ability of computer. So, computers are devices which are capable of storing information, and they can also manipulate the information with set of instructions. Okay, so they are devices which can store information and manipulate it according to given set of instructions. uh, this ability of computers is magical. They so And this ability of computers is magical. um, I can go into descriptions of what I can go into details of the magic of this ability of computers, but right now spitting theory will be useless. Here we will go. Here we will go with Here we will expose ourselves to the magic that this ability can do, and slowly discover it. The explanations that I am giving, the explanations that you will get in this video will be in progression. As we progress ahead and ahead in this journey, you will get more and more answers. This is why I suggest you start making notes, because we are ending a topic on not a complete note, on some incomplete note, and going on to the next topic, going on with the next exposure to the world of programming. And slowly, as we encounter new and new topics and challenges, we will refine our definitions and our perspective and our view of programming, computers, computation, etc., etc. But now, so now moving on. First, so right now, just know that this ability of computers to store information is magical. What kind of magic it is, we will look at it later, but now just remember, this ability of computers can do magic. But for them to do that magic, they need something. Computers can store information and also process it at a very high speed, more than what any human can do or any living being can do on this world. But they need set of instructions to do that. Without set of instructions, computers are absolutely useless. You can't do anything with that information. It is like there is a book, but no one has read it, or no one has read for the contents inside it. Then that book and the content inside that book is of no use. So without set of instructions, any ability of computer is useless. So if you want to make computer do anything, you have to give it the set of instructions. This is where programmers come in. This is where programming comes in, and programmers, in order to make computers to in order to make computers do any task, we have to give them a set of instructions. And this is where programming comes in. So to do programming, so how do we give this set of instructions? Or the another language or the another question which we might ask here is, what is the language that computer understand? um, one One easy answer is computers understand binary language. What does binary language means? It just means a series of two symbols, namely 0 and 1. So a computer stores two symbols, zeros and ones, in different permutations and combinations. And this different permutation and combination of those symbols carry meaning. Just like in our languages, we have more sounds. We have more than two sounds, but we are using different permutations and combinations of sounds and words to encode the meaning that we want to convey. Similarly, computer encodes the information in binary format. And this is how computer encodes information. So whatever it is, maybe it is a video file, maybe it is a text, or maybe it is some sensors readings. This is how computer stores it in binaries and processes it in binaries. This is the language that computer understands. So now the the question is, computer if computers understand binaries, and to make computers work you have to give them set of instructions, then do we have to understand the language of binaries and speak to the computer in language of binaries? Um the answer is, we are not required to understand binaries in order to give computer set of instructions. And but it does not mean we can give computer set of instructions in plain English. So it is true that computers only understand binaries. uh, so over the years we have developed different kinds of languages which abstracts away us from binaries. So high level programming languages like Python or C++ or JavaScript, they use something called compilers or interpreters, which uh, take the code which is written in format of C++, Python or JavaScript or any another language, and with some set of rules it translates the code which is written in higher level language into binary code, which further computers can understand. And this is a good starting point for beginners. You can start by high level programming languages and interact with computer and slowly get familiar with it. If you want to do really advanced programming, then you are required to go uh, level down and understand how code translates into machine code. But you can do this later. You can learn any subject in progression, and that's what we are going to do. So in this video, in this tutorial, or in this lecture, we will only deal with high level languages and make you familiar with high level programming. Here by high level I don't mean in terms of difficulty, but here high and low is defined relative to how close a language is to machine code. So the language which we will use in this video, which is Python, is not low level language. It is not so close to machine code like C or assembly language. It is high level language. It uses abstraction. So now that we have some understanding of what computer is and what does it mean to program and why we need to program, we can start with some practical. So now, enough of explanations and theories. We can start with some implementation and practicals. So, if you are an absolute beginner and you're confused about what softwares I'm using, then this software on which I'm writing is a text editor which is made for programming. It is like Notepad or any another text editor, but the difference is this has color coding for programming, so it makes easy for you to write programs in this and also read it. This is why we use this kind of text editor. And the operating system that I'm using is Linux based operating system. If you are someone who does not come from a background of programming, then maybe you are not familiar with this operating system, but this is just like any another operating system, but it has this thing called terminal. Here I can give command to my computers by using the command line, and I can interface with computer over here, and it gives me much more freedom to control my device. You have something like this on Windows. If you're using it Windows, or even if you're using Mac, then you have something like this. um, so I won't go into much details about how you should install Python and how you should install text editors. You can find tutorials related to that already. So I will just now proceed further. To make any kind of Python file, you have to end it with extension of .py, and before .py you can give any name to it. So I'm giving it a name of main. This is a Python file. Here you can start programming, and on this command line, on this terminal, you can execute the program, you can run it. So that's what we are going to do. So now we will make ourselves familiar with programming and what can be the simplest task in programming. So while programming, you need to ask yourself what is it that you want your computer to do, and then you can go on to asking yourself how will you make computer do that. And in order to do that, you should be familiar with some language, and slowly we will get familiar with the Python programming language enough for you to write some codes. So, what can be the simplest instruction or task that we can ask a computer to do to display any sentence or word that we want? Can we ask computer to display a sentence or a word that we want? And the answer is yes. And this program in Python can be written in one line. So now we are starting to give program instructions. So the instruction that we want to give over here is can we ask computer to print. Okay, so here I have started with an hash sign. Why have I done that? So here comes the first concept in Python programming, which is of comments. Comments are something which your interpreter, which your compiler will ignore, and comments are written in order to just in comments are written so that you can explain the program to another computer or to yourself while reading afterwards. So it is just there for our convenience, and program has nothing to do with it. So as I said earlier, Python is high level programming languages and it utilizes compiler. What a compiler does is it this is why you have to follow a certain rules while writing in any programming languages. Any programming language has either compiler or interpreter. What it does is it converts your set of instructions which you have written in that language into machine code. And to do that, there are some rules of the language which you have to follow, and that is what it means to learn that language. So now going on to the first challenge that we have set ourselves to, which is to display hello world on the screen. So how can we do that? We can do that with the instruction of print. We can ask Python to print. um so can I do print hello world? Let's see if so I will now run this program. uh, no, it does not happens. When I say print hello world, it gives a syntax error. So there is something that I'm missing over here. Like I said, for Python compiler to compile the program, there are certain rules that I have to follow so that it can know from where it should from where it should from where it should start implementing it in binaries and so on. So to give print instructions, there is so after print you have to use these brackets and you have to use colons. And inside this quotation mark you can write anything that you want to print. So here we want to print hello world. Now the program will run successfully, and see, here we have got hello world. So this is how you program. You first find out what are the set of rules which you have to follow while programming, and then you can write the set of instructions, and you can ask the computer to implement whatever it is that you want to do. And your skill of programming is determined by how much familiar you are with the language, and how can you think about the challenge. Can you break the challenge down into the set of instructions or algorithms later on? So now we will take now slowly we will increase the challenge. So now for this program, the question which we asked ourselves was, can we ask a computer to print hello world? But now we will increase the difficulty and ask ourselves, can we ask user to input something, or say name? Can we store the input from user, and can we use it later on? So now we will see how can we take input from user, store it, and use it later on. So to do that, there is a command called input. So whenever give this command, the program after running executing the program will ask user to input something. And so now when I run this, it over here gives me an option to input something. Here I can write whatever, and I can hit enter. So the program took an input from me, but did it stored it somewhere? No, because I have not assigned any storage place for it. So we need to store it somewhere, and in Python we can store inputs into variables, and a variable can be defined by giving any name and then putting equal to sign. So what a variable does is, variable is like a placeholder where you can store information. Like we said, computers deals with information, so computers can store information and manipulate information. So now with variables, we are asking ourselves how can we store information, and in Python we can do that by just giving any name that we like over here, and then putting a equal to sign, and then taking the input. Either we can take input or we can load another files. Right now we are taking an input from user. So let's see so now instead of printing hello world, we can print what's inside the variable. So I put anything and I press enter, and here you go. Python has stored the stored whatever user has inputted into a variable, and we can access that. So we have taken some information from user and stored it, and we can later access it. We can also manipulate this, and we will look at this later on, or let's say we do it right now. So the next concept is variables have different types depending on what kind of information we want the variable to store. So if we want to store numbers, then we have to store them as integer. So in this case where we are taking input, we can do int integer. So what this does is it tells Python that the value that we are looking at is an integer, it is a number value. And if it is a number value, then we can perform another mathematical operations on that variables. Like I said, we are looking at now we are looking at so earlier we looked at how can we store information, and the answer was we can do that in Python by using variables. And now we are looking at how can we manipulate it. So to do that, you have to make sure what kind of value we are dealing with. So to perform operations on strings, which are words or sentences, you have to do string operations. Right now we are looking at numbers, so we are dealing with integers. So to manipulate this, we can do, say we can multiply whatever variable we have with number 2, and let's see. So let's say I enter 2, and the print which it gives, the output which it gives is of 4. So this is how we can manipulate the information by using instruction sets. Here we are looking at a high level overview of this, but this is done just to give you an overview. um, so this video has gone longer than what I expected, so I'm planning on ending this over here. um, let's look at some overview. So we have looked at what um, computer is, or how would we like to define it, or how would we like to think about it, and how will we like to look at what programming is, and what how does, and the hierarchy of programming languages and instructions. um, we will end this over here, and in next video I will make more progression and advancements For documentation, I am writing this down, so I will also publish this in written form. And slowly I will ask myself, how can I make you more and more familiar with um, more advanced how can we make progressions into programming. And this video was this video was not to teach you Python language, but just to make you familiar with it. To learn Python language, there are many more resources. This video was just to give you some introduction to thinking. This was just to give you an exposure to the thinking process of programmer and programming, the philosophy of it. So in programming, what we ask ourselves is, how can we make computers do a particular task. If we go into more advanced exploration, then the first question which we ask is, can a computer algorithm solve this task in finite time at all. But that is for advanced topics. So right now we will just say, a programmer asks himself or herself, can I make a computer do this task, and if I can, then what is the instruction set. What do I know about computers? Then the computers are machines which can store and manipulate information, and for them to do that, I need to give them um, set of instructions. And so now the naturally the next exploration which we will do, or we should do, is understanding what kind of information computers can store, and what can we do with it. And we will understand this by implementing projects. So for the next video, I will think of some small project, some small coding, where we will do coding, and we will discuss more and more of these paradigms and thought process and philosophy. So stay tuned for that, and keep learning. Learn, make yourself familiar with programming, with Python language. There are many tutorials already available on YouTube. Just watch any 1 or 2 hour video where they will teach you the basics. That's enough for you to get familiar with it. And in next video we will explore more with projects. So on this channel I will keep uploading coding, and keep uploading different coding projects, and also explain, and also we will with progression polish the understanding of computers, of theory behind it, what underlies it, what we are doing, etc. So see you in the next video.